Shalom. All praise, honor, and glory is due unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakudash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect of the nation of Israel. The true Hebrew Israelites are the so-called Negroes, so-called Hispanics, so-called Native Americans, as well as you Israelite foreigners who look like the other nations but believe this truth. This is Brother Shakal here with the video lesson on the book of Amos from Amos chapter 9 from verse 8 to the end. Amos chapter 9 and verse 8. Behold, the eyes of the Lord Yahweh Bashmil God are upon this sinful kingdom. America, Babylon the Great, is a sinful kingdom. There's nothing but wickedness here, and it's completely against the laws of Yahweh Bashmil. And what are the eyes of the Lord? We're talking about the angels, or the chariots, the so-called UFOs. And you get a lot of chariot UFO sightings. In America, Babylon the Great. Revelation 19. And 2, for true and righteous are his judgments, for he had judged the great whore, America's the great whore, which did corrupt the earth with their fornication. And so America pushed, through the democracy in Moism, it pushed wickedness throughout the earth, and so America, this sinful kingdom, and hath avenged the blood of his servants at our hand. In Revelation 17 and 6 calls this place, I'll actually grab both verses, 5 and 6. Revelation chapter 17, verse 5. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. In America is Babylon the Great, this great whore, the sinful kingdom, mother of harlots, because you can basically worship anything you want in America. You have the religious freedom, which is wickedness against the Bible. And abominations of the earth, you have all these sexual abominations. Verse 6, and we read, avenge the blood of his servants at our hand. Verse 6, and I saw the woman America drunken with the blood of the saints. The saints are the children of Israel. We had caught a lot of hell here in America. So-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, and you had all the slaughter in near genocide of the Native Americans, which are the tribe of Gad in the scriptures. So America is clearly talking about America, the history of treating the children of Israel, and they still treat us bad. Gad, the so-called Native Americans, is still the poorest people in America. When they were the first, then they were the original inhabitants of this land, which we read about in 2 Amos 13. In this place as the wicked religious freedom and the wicked sexual abominable acts. And so what is the Lord Yahweh Bashmil going to do? Amos chapter 9 and verse 8, behold, the eyes of the Lord Yahweh Bashmil God are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth. So this place is going to receive that nuclear fire. chariots of laser beams from the chariots will also bring fire to this place. Revelation 18 and verse 8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord Yahweh Shah God who judgeth her. So, America is going to be destroyed by fire, which is the lake of fire. In the scriptures, that's the nuclear destruction of America. Zechariah chapter 5. And verse 1, and then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll that's tall about a chariot, a so-called UFO. So the so-called UFOs are in the scriptures. That's how Yahweh and the holy angels are going to return in the time of Jacob's trouble. Verse 2, and he said unto me, what seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. Then he said unto me, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth, the chariots. Revelation 1 and 7 says, behold, he cometh with clouds, which are the chariots, so-called UFOs, and every eye shall see him. This is going to be a worldwide event, and the chariots are going to be all over the world, in Babylon the Great. And we see chariot sightings now, the eyes of the Lord Yahweh Shah upon the sinful kingdom. And he will utterly destroy it from off the face of the earth. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side, according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side, according to it. I will bring it forth, saith the Lord Yahweh Shah of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief. The thief is Esau. The house is America, Babylon the Great. It's talking about his chariots. And they're going to invade this place and destroy it with fire and laser beams. And into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name, and it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it. Check this out, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof. So those chariots are going to shoot those laser beams. And nuclear missiles will hit this place. And it will be left a desert forever, no more inhabitants. Isaiah 13 tells you that. Not verse 19 and 20. You start at 17, but this is back to Amos chapter 9, verse 8. Behold, the eyes of the Lord Yahweh Shah God are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will utterly destroy from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, to say it the Lord Yahweh Shah. And you know what? Since I quoted it, I'll just grab it. Isaiah 13, referenced it. Isaiah 13. In verse 1, the burden, not verse 1. Verse 17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them. The Medes is Russia, the them is America. Which Ezekiel 38 says Gog and Magog turned back with hooks in his jaws. Will be turned back. The Most High bringing it back from that USSR state. And then you had the Cold War. And then so Russia's coming back for World War III and to shoot nuclear missiles on America. The sinful kingdom. Babylon, the great whore. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Their bows, the missiles, also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. So these missiles ain't got no feelings. And 200 million warheads are going to hit America, pursuant to Revelation, the 9th chapter. Verse 19, in Babylon, America, The glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency shall be as when Yahweh Bashmi Oshai overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah, which Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed by fire. So America has that same fate as Sodom and Gomorrah. Verse 20, it shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation, neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. So there's going to be no more people dwelling here. It's going to be a desert. If you have a nuclear bunker here, that's going to be where you die, your resting place, so to speak, after you're destroyed by fire. Let me hold that. Back to Amos chapter 9 verse 8. Behold, the eyes of the Lord Yahweh Bashmi God are upon this sinful kingdom, and I will utterly destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashmi. And so the Lord left a remnant that would be delivered from this great destruction. Isaiah 10 and 20. I'm going to start at verse 20. And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel, and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob, shall no more stay upon him that smote them, who smote us, Esau, the so-called white man, the Edomites, but shall stay upon the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Oshai, the Holy One of Israel, in truth. The remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, unto the mighty God. So only a remnant, a portion, which is the elect of Israel, is going to return to the Most High, while the rest of our people are going to stick to the ways of the sinful kingdom which Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, taught them, the man that smote them. And that's why they're going to be destroyed. And that's why we got to repent and return to Yahweh Bashmi Oshai and remove ourselves from the ways of America and in the ways that Esau pushed on us as we grew up in this place. In Jeremiah chapter 51 verse 9. Oh, not verse 9. Verse 6. Flee out of the midst of Babylon, which is America, and deliver every man his soul. So we don't literally take a plane and get out of here. We spiritually flee and return back to Yahweh Bashmi Oshai. So you no longer participate in the wicked things you used to do that Babylon pushed. You learn to put off the flesh, which is a constant battle. Speak to myself first and foremost. And move spiritually, serving Yahweh Bashmi Oshai. Hopefully we're that remnant, because we're gifted this knowledge, this truth. So we can't take that gift in vain. Especially understanding the nuclear destruction of this place in the chariot fire, and the Lord Yahweh Shai returning, and the kingdom of heaven being established within the next months. For this is the time of the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Oshai's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. So all this stuff is gonna pass away. This is not an everlasting place. This place is gonna be destroyed soon. All its ways will be completely blotted out, if you will, and there will be a new way of righteousness on the earth forever. And so that remnant that wouldn't be destroyed, the scripture says, Revelation 20, on which the second death had no power. Let's read that. Revelation 20 and 6. Blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection. The first resurrection is the first 1,000 years of the Israelites ruling in the kingdom of heaven, where we're going to have the heathen in slavery. Tells you that all over the scriptures. Revelation 13 and 10, Isaiah 14, 1 and 2, Psalms 2, and so on. The Lord Yahweh Shai is going to have slaves, first and foremost, of the heathen, the other nations. Blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection. on such the second death had no power, the second death being the missiles. And so it says on such the second death have no power, because there's going to be a deliverance of that remnant of the elect. Revelation chapter 15 verse 2. And I saw, as it were, a sea of glass mingled with fire. The fire is talking about America from the second death, the nuclear destruction. And so this whole verse is the elect, that remnant of Israel, in the chariot upon deliverance, upon Yahweh's return, being beamed up, and seeing from the chariot the destruction of America, from that bird's eye view. And them that had gotten the victory over the beast, them that gotten the victory, the elective remnant, the house of David, tabernacle of David, and over his image and over his mark. So the elect wouldn't take the mark of the beast, which is an RFID microchip. And over the number of his name, even unto death, the elect won't take the chip. Over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of Yahweh Shai. So the second death is not going to affect the elect. The destruction of the sinful kingdom. Isaiah chapter 26 verse 20. Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers. The chambers are so-called UFOs, the chariots, which our Lord is returning in. We read many scriptures on that. Or a couple scriptures on, or actually, well, not many, but I reference a couple. And the chambers are the modern, the chariots are so-called UFOs, chariots of Israel, or the modern day Noah's Ark. It's going to be like a similar thing, because then the first death was the flood, and Noah had the ark of protection. And the elect remnant of Israel this time are going to have the chambers, which is going to be the protection from the second death, the missiles, which we're going to read as the indignation. Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, and shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself, as it were, for a little moment, until the indignation be overpassed. So the elect are going to be beamed up to be safe, and Yahweh Shai is going to be our deliverer. Hopefully of that number. So now we can go back to Amos 9 and 8, and then move on to verse 9. Amos chapter 9 verse 8. Behold, the eyes of the Lord Yahweh Shai God are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will utterly destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, said the Lord Yahweh Shai. So cover the verse. Verse 9, for lo, I will command, and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations, as corn is sifted in a sieve, yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. So you have Israelites scattered in all nations. And it shows you the Most High is only dealing with Israelites. But you got Israelites scattered in all nations. You can go all the way back to Deuteronomy 28 and 64. And the Lord Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people, from one end of the earth even unto the other. And so 2 Ezra 13 tells you how the Hispanic and Native American tribes came to this part of the earth. That shows you that we're the Israelites. The Esau came up against us and shed a lot of our blood. And so we're scattered among all the nations and on this side of the earth. And we read Amos 9 to sift the house of Israel from among all nations, and you got Israelites all over the earth that may even look like these other nations. And there shalt thou serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone, going into these churches and so on. Isaiah 11. In verse 11, it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord Yahweh shall set his hand again the second time. The first time was Egypt, ancient Egypt. And so there's going to be a second Exodus, which is the deliverance of the elect being beamed up when Yahweh Shai comes back and the holy angels to bring that destruction and deliverance. The second time to recover the remnant of his people. So the Israelites which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. So showing you that salvation is for the Israelites, and that you got Israelites scattered all over the earth. And it said, I will sift the house of Israel from among all nations. The sifter is the word. And you can tell who an Israelite is based on how they receive the word. If you see they got faith that the Holy Spirit's dealing with them, they don't buck up against the truth, because it may seem a little bit crazy at first, but if you maybe not, the elect will understand it. But that if you have a so-called black man lays with a so-called white woman, that baby may look white, but it's an Israelite, because the father's an Israelite, because it's by the seed of the father. Same thing with an Israelite laying with any of the woman's nations. So we got Israelites that look like the nations all over the earth, even some that will be delivered, if not many, when Yahweh Shai returns. That's the great multitude of Israelites in Revelation the 7th chapter. You got Israelites that look like the other nations of the elect, even scattered. And through the internet, this word is all over the earth. Matthew 24:14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. So the preaching of this true gospel would come before the end times, before the destruction and all that. And through the internet, the word is preached all over. So the heathens listen to their destruction, and they're going into slavery. The elect of Israel listen, and they take heed, and they stay in the truth. And the Israelites not of the elect will reject the word and be destroyed. Revelation 7 and verse 9, I quoted it or made reference to it. And after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. Talking about the elect of Israel, because Israel scattered, because Israel looks like the other nations. And we read about the scattering of the Israelites, how Israel we sift the house of Israel among all nations. You got Israelites scattered all over the earth. So there's clearly talking about Israelites. Because salvation is only for Israel. Jeremiah 16 and Hosea 1 tells you that in verse 10, the children of Israel are those who cannot be numbered. Jeremiah 16 and verse 14, therefore behold, the days come, said the Lord Yahweh Shai, that shall no more be said, the Lord Yahweh shall live, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But the Lord Yahweh shall live, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, and from all the lands whither he had driven them, and I'll bring them again into the land that I gave unto their fathers. the land of the north being America, the main place of deliverance, but the elect that are all over the earth will be delivered, and then will be brought back to our land, which is the kingdom of heaven. Verse 16, behold, I will send for many fishers. The scripture said we will be the fishers of men. We're fishing for the elect. Scripture Matthew 13 says that the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a net, and it gathereth the good and the bad. And again, the scriptures were fishers of men. Said the Lord Yahweh Shai, and they shall fish them. And after I will send for many hunters, so the fishers are going to be turned to hunters, and we're going to hunt down these elites and enslave them, and also enslave the whole heathen population. And they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rocks. And you'll have these elites in their outer space retreats and their bomb shelters, pursuant to Amos 9, verse 2. Which I might as well read it since I have Amos right here. Amos chapter 9, verse 2. Though they dig into hell, talking about those bomb shelters, there's no such thing as hell as the wacky-tacky Christians teach. Pretty much, at least in this lesson, shows you that the wacky-tacky Christians don't know nothing about the scriptures. So they dig into hell, these nuclear bunkers. Then shall mine hand take them. Though they climb up to heaven, outer space retreats, thence will I bring them down. So the elites are going to be gathered and put in slavery. So they will also escape the second death, but be reserved for slavery, for that first resurrection of first 1,000 years. Revelation 5. Read this and then move on to the next verse. Revelation chapter 5, verse 9. And they sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof, for thou wast slain and hast redeemed us to the Most High by thy blood, out of every kindred, tongue, and people and nation. So Israelites are scattered. Back to Amos chapter 9. I'll read verse 9 again. For lo, I will command, and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations, like as corn is sifted in a sieve, yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. And I get one more. In Revelation chapter 11, verse 1, and there was given me a reed like unto a rod, and the angel stood, saying, Rise and measure the temple of the Most High. The temple is the Israelites, and the altar, and them that worship therein. But the court which is without the temple leave out, and measure it not, for it is given unto the Gentiles, these other nations. So the Most High is not dealing with these other nations. There are two types of Gentiles: the Gentile Israelites, and worshiping idols and doing abominable things, but then could come back to the fold for salvation because they're Israelites. And then you have the Gentile nations, which the Most High now dealing with, as is proved in this verse. But the court which is without the temple leave out, and measure it not, for it is given unto the Gentiles. But it says, Rise and measure the temple of the Most High, the Israelites, and the altar, and them that worship therein. So it puts a distinction. And the holy city shall they tread underfoot 40 and 2 months. So back to Amos 9 and verse 10. All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. So that sword talking about the nuclear missiles. And so the wicked of our people are going to be destroyed by those nuclear missiles. Zechariah 13:8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land is America, Babylon the great whore, the sinful kingdom, saith the Lord Yahweh Shai, 2 parts therein, 2/3 of the Israelites in America shall be cut off and die. Where the sinners of my people, they shall die by the sword. But the third shall be left therein, which the third is 1/3 of Israelites here, which is of the elect, which will be delivered. Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers. And many places in the scriptures does it reference the sword being the missiles. Revelation 6:4. And there went out another horse that was red. Edom in the Hebrew means red, talking about Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. And power was given to, he rules Babylon the Great, and he's in control right now. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, Job 9:24. And power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. Take peace from the earth. He made the world a wilderness. Isaiah 14. Hiroshima and Nagasaki dropped those bombs on Japan, and that they should kill one another. Civil War, the Edomite on Edomite Civil War, Spanish-American War, Revolutionary War. And there's talks of another civil war, which is going to happen. Isaiah 19:2, Egyptian against Egyptian. America is also known as Egypt, as well as Babylon the Great, the great city. And here's the point, and there was given unto him a great sword. His blessing the sword, Genesis 20:27. These guns and even these missiles. So that all the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, the missiles, bringing that fire. They're also going to destroy the Edomites. Isaiah 34 and verse 4, and all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, the heavens rolled together as a scroll, the nuclear mushroom cloud, and all the hosts shall fall down, as a leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. Verse 5, for my sword, those missiles, shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. So these Edomites are going to get destroyed, but the same sword is going to hit, the same swords, if you will, because there's going to be 200 million warheads, are going to hit, they're going to destroy the wicked Israelites, who were the 2/3, and all the Edomites and all the other nations here in America. America is the whore that sitteth upon many waters. The waters being the nations, all these nations, the great multitude, the great melting pot here in America of these nations. Ezekiel 38. In verse 2, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog. Gog and Magog represent Russia, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him. And we can clearly see Russia's doing this thing right now. It's hot in the news. I'll skip to verse 4. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, which I quoted earlier. The Most High is bringing Russia back from USSR and bringing it for World War III, Armageddon, Valley Jehoshaphat, and to shoot missiles on America. And I'll bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor. And back then you had horses in wars, you had horses and horsemen with the armor. Today war is fought with the tanks and stuff. So you got more modern military equipment, if you will, technology and such. All of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords, and the modern day sword is the missiles. So back to Amos chapter 9 and verse 10, all the sinners of my people shall die by the sword. So those missiles would say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. So that's why us Israelites, especially the hopeful elect, you gotta flee from the midst of Babylon, as we read. You don't want to be in the ways of this sinful kingdom, so that you don't get destroyed with the sinful kingdom. Verse 11. In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen. Tabernacle of David, house of David, is not a literal house. It's talking about those who were acquainted with David, King David in his time, who are back here today through reincarnation, which is biblical, which will be the remnant called back into this truth. What the tabernacle of David had a conquest, if you will, over the heathen and ruled over them rigorously, if that's the right word. And that same energy, the Most High is bringing that back into the earth, which will be the kingdom of heaven. So the kingdom of heaven, which is starting now, the house of David, being brought back, the house of David coming back into this truth, is going to lead to the house of David being ruling how it was, except hopefully with that elect in that first resurrection, where the house of David will rule, and Yahweh shall be ruling. We'll have the heathen in subjection. The heathen will be in subjection under the Israelites, just like in the time of David, King David, who will rule again, who we believe is King Mashar. And close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old. So if the house of David will be built as the days of old, then it would have to be all Israelites, because David ruled over the 12 tribes of Israel. Even if you build a regular building, just making an analogy, that if you build a regular building as it was in the days of old, meaning if a building was built and it was destroyed, and like if you wanted to make a memorial and rebuild that exactly how it was when it was in old times, then you would have to build it the same exact way. You'd use the same building structure, the same foundations, the same materials, the same stone or brick or whatever. So in this case, the same as Israelites, the children of Israel. So no other nation can creep their way into this thing. But we read the Israelites are scattered in all nations, showing you that it's all about the Israelites. It's not necessarily about skin color. Verse 12, that they may possess the remnant of Edom and of all the heathen, meaning that they're going to be in slavery. Which are called by my name, said the Lord Yahweh shall I do with this. And the way you got to read this, because you can't always read it face value and examine the scriptures face value, it will be that they, which are called by my name, the house of David, or the Israelites, may possess the remnant of Edom, and of all the heathen, said the Lord Yahweh shall I do with this. So you gotta read it correctly, which makes a lot more sense, based on the whole scriptures, from front to back, from Genesis to Revelation, when you get into it. It's all of the scriptures we're going to put the heathen in captivity. Now what backs us up is I had it, I don't know where I put my scriptures for this. I put them all at the bottom. Slacky. In the Spanish version, Amos chapter 9 verse 12, I put it through the Spanish dictionary translator. It translates to this, which they got it right: that those upon whom my name is called may possess the remnant of Edom and all the nations, said the Lord Yahweh Shai, that he does this. So the Lord is going to set up the elect house of David to enslave these heathen for that 1,000-year period, and then Esau will be cut off. Obadiah 1:18 will be extinct, and the rest of the nations will still be in subjection. They'll still have to keep the laws, but they'll get their lands back, other than Esau, to say it again. So let's go back to Amos 9. You know, I have it down here, so and I'll read this one too. Isaiah 63 and verse 17. O Lord Yahweh Shai, why hast thou made us to err from thy ways and harden our hearts from thy fear? Return for thy servants' sake the tribes of thy inheritance. The people of thy holiness have possessed it but a little while. Our adversaries have trodden down thy sanctuary. We are thine, thou never bearest rule over them. They were not called by thy name. So we know the Most High dealing with Israel, not the heathen. So it makes it clear on Amos chapter 9, the 12th verse. Jeremiah 30:16. Therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. So coming back to the nationality of Israel, we're gonna put these other nations in slavery. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. And so we're gonna be the kings of the earth. That's what I called it. That's why it's called the first resurrection in the Holy Scriptures, this Bible, because we're gonna be brought back to the state where we belong, back to being the kings of the earth. That's why it's called the first resurrection. So we're gonna be brought back to the state. Yahweh Shai is gonna bring us back up to that state, starting with the elect. And Esau even put King David in slavery in these times. Pursuing to Deuteronomy 38, 20, 36, not King David when he was ruling, but in these times. Within this last captivity in Babylon the Great, this Egypt, the Lord Yahweh shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there thou shalt serve other gods of wood and stone. So the Edomites had King David in slavery, so how much more they got to pay for what they did to us? Esau is through. Let's go back to Amos 9. I'll read this one. 2nd Amos chapter 6 verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world, Esau and Edom is the same, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So the Edomites will be ruling the last heathen rulership. They would have the Israelites in captivity, even King David. The tabernacle of David will come back together, the remnant of Israel, in his last under the captivity of the Edomites in the land of our captivity. We remember ourselves, the scriptures say. And World War III would happen. Russia turned back with hooks in his jaws, which is playing out right now. We're at the end of Esau. We read Matthew 24 and 14. The gospel shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. So it leads to Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth the kingdom of heaven, which is Israel's rest, where the tabernacle of David. We're actually going to, hopefully, I keep saying I don't know if I'm of that number, but I hope to be. But the elected tabernacle of David will rule on the earth and finally get that ruling power. Back to Amos 9. And I'll read 11 and 12 again. In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old. that they may possess the remnant of Edom and of all the heathen which are called by my name, said the Lord Yahweh Shall I do with this. So we're going to put the nations in subjection and slavery. And then Esau will be cut off, Obadiah 1 and 18. Verse 13. Behold, the days come, said the Lord Yahweh Shai, that the plowman shall overtake the reaper, and the treader of grapes him that soweth seed, and the mountains shall drop sweet wine, and all the hills shall melt. And I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel, and they shall build the waste cities, and inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards, and drink the wine thereof, and they shall also make gardens, and eat the fruit of them. And Isaiah 61 tells us that our heathen are going to be the ones doing our field work, so to speak. And it also shows you that there's going to be a kingdom of heaven on the earth where Israel's going to reign. You don't have plans and stuff. What I can't speak on what I don't know, but it shows it's going to be an earthly kingdom. It'll also will be able to do space travel, but it'll also be on the earth. We'll have slaves on the earth. Isaiah 61. In verse 5, and strangers shall stand and feed your flocks, and the sons of the aliens shall be your plowmen and your vine dressers. So these other nations are going to be on the plantations pretty much for the Israelites, starting with the elect. So now let's go back to Amos 9 in verse 14 again. And I will bring the captivity of my people Israel, and they shall build the waste cities and inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards and drink the wine thereof, and they shall make gardens and eat the fruit of them. And we're going to have the slaves do all our work. And we read Revelation 5 earlier. We started at 9, and now I want to get verse 10. Revelation chapter 5 verse 10, and has made us unto our God kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth. So the kingdom of heaven is an earthly kingdom. When we're back in our own land. So delivered from all the places we were scattered, mainly America, Babylon the Great, from the land of the north, but all over the earth from the nuclear destruction. Yahweh Shai beaming the elect up in the chariots, then brought back to our own land. Then Jacob will rule forever, and Yahweh Shai will rule forever, and King David will rule forever. Amos chapter 9, almost done. Verse 15, and I will plant them upon their land, and they shall no more be pulled up out of their land, which I have given them, said the Lord Yahweh shall their God. So ultimately we're going to be in the kingdom of heaven. Isaiah 14, I might close out here. In verse 1, for the Lord Yahweh shall have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land. So we brought back to our own land, starting with the elect. And the strangers, Israelite strangers, shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord Yahweh shall for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. So the Esau is captive, and we're going to take the Edomites captives when we get brought back to our own land. Alongside, and take the Edomites captives, we're going to be in power. We're going to take all these other nations captive too. Now, since I have enough time in battery percentage, let's get 2 quick accounts, or maybe just one, of the time of King David, to show you what type of spirit is being brought back into the earth by Yahweh Shai. 1 Kings chapter 1. And or is it 1 Kings 11? Or I think it's 1 Kings 11. Here we go. 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 15. For it came to pass when David was in Edom, and Joab the captain of the host was gone up to bury the slain after he had smitten every male in Edom. For 6 months did Joab remain there with all Israel until he had cut off every male in Edom. And so, the time that so King David was putting hell on the Edomites, and so that same thing is gonna resurface back in the earth. In Obadiah 1 and 18. So Obadiah 1 and 18 shows you there will be Edomites in the kingdom. 2 Ezra 6 and 9 tells you Esau will be ruling at these end times. So you can't say Esau is done away with. Obadiah chapter 1 verse 18, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining in the house of Esau, for the Lord Yahweh has spoken it. So after that 1,000 years, Esau going to get a terrible captivity, and he's going to be extinct, completely cut off. So it shows you that when the tabernacle of David is coming back together, that what it's going to lead to is destiny. It's written in stone pretty much. It is written in stone. Set in stone, if that's however I said that the same things will happen to the heathen again, and the same rulers will be set in place. So I'll get this, Ezekiel 37 and verse 12. Therefore, prophet, verse 11, that he said unto me, Son of man, these bones of the whole house of Israel, behold, they say, our bones are dried, our hope is lost, we are cut off for our parts. So the Most High only dealing with Israel. Therefore prophesy and say unto them, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Shemeshai God, O my people, I will open your graves and cause you to come up out of your graves, and will bring you into the land of Israel. And ye shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh Shemeshai, when I have opened your graves, O my people, and brought you up out of your graves, and shall put my spirit in you, and ye shall live, and I shall place you in your own land. Then shall ye know that I, the Lord Yahweh Shemeshai, have spoken it and performed it, said the Lord Yahweh Shemeshai. The main graveyard being Babylon the Great, coming up out of the graves, the men of the Lord, teaching his word, the prophets, 144,000. And then we'll be brought back to our own land, which is the kingdom of heaven, which is the first resurrection. Came from the lower state, brought up to the kings of the earth. So with that, I'll give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem, Yakakodash. Devil honors the elders and apostles, great milestone of the well. Shalom to elect. Hopefully this is